Ladies and gentlemen, we have assembled here to celebrate. Celebrations are not only a right and a privilege. On some occasions, they are an obligation and indeed a commandment. In the weekly Torah portions of this past Shabbat and the next, we read of the Yovel, or the Jubilee year. We are instructed on how and when we inaugurate the Jubilee. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 9. Then shalt thou make proclamation with the blast of the horn in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month. In the day of atonement ye shall make proclamation with the horn throughout all your land. We have commenced this evening with the blast of the horn, and the joyful noises that will be made over the next few days in Ben-Gurion University will be heard throughout this country. It is true that we have made but half the distance to the biblical Jubilee as a university. Then, too, this is not Yom Kippur. Nevertheless, we are well within accepted tradition in choosing this occasion, this 25th year, to fulfill the obligation for assessing the past and giving thanks for its blessings, even as we earnestly hope for continued good fortune in the future. The inauguration of Jubilees on the Day of Atonement was appropriate because both occasions signaled rebirth and rededication. I would now like to call upon the President of Ben-Gurion University, Dr. Avishai Braverman, to address the Assembly.
Thank you, Ilan. Chairman of the Board, Hyman Kreitman, Chairman Emeritus Bob Arno, Chairman of the Executive Committee, Adi Amorai, Vice Chairperson, Director, Deans, and of course, distinguished to be honorary doctorates of Ben-Gurion University. We are saluting the 25th anniversary of Ben-Gurion University. Its combination of dreams, of quality, and commitment which manifested themselves in results. This was Ben-Gurion. These were and are the founders of this university, the professors, the people at the government, the people that some of them around here worldwide. These founders combined this commitment together with doing things in the Ben-Gurion way. And today, we salute all the pioneers, all the founders from all walks of life that make us arrive today proud, noble, and successful. So this is salute to you. We are fortunate today to go all across generations. Professor Yaakov Katz is already above 90. Michael Sonnenfeldt will be 40 only in October. And in between, we have all ages. Michael Sonnenfeldt, rarely you find somebody that is below 40 that rather than driving fast sport cars and fast, I shouldn't say what I said before, I wanted to say fast women, but it's inappropriate. He committed his life, together with Katya, the Sonnenfeldt Goldman family, to this university. This is the Sonnenfeldt Auditorium. He committed his work and his life to the desert work in Blaustein. He works day and night, not only here, but in the United Nations, across nations, in order to fulfill what is Jewish, to be proud and strong, but also to bridge problems among nations. All these people, for us, is an example. This university is growing in construction. It's magnificent physically. We're creating new institutions. We discussed it this morning with the chemical industry in applied research on water, on applied biotechnology. With the Fair family, we're going to start our new business school. We're going to work on all walks of life because that was the commitment to David Ben-Gurion. He said to the founders that started with Yigal Alon and Pinchas Sapir and many of the people here like Moshe Privas and Venya Adari and many others, He say it can be done because when there are committed group of people that want to do something, the sky is the limit. The commitment is here. We accomplished a lot in 25 years. But the next 5 years and the next 25 years will be very important. Population growth is expanding. The Middle East is difficult. Our country will go through transformation. But this is the last frontier. If people want to have a new meaning for Zionism, it's in the Negev, it's in Be'er Sheva. The mayor is here, is in the city of Be'er Sheva. So all we want to do today, to salute you, to salute the new honorary doctorate, and together to tell David Ben-Gurion that may look upon us from above, what you ask us to do is been done, is done, and will be done. Thank you very much.
Members of the Presidium, distinguished members of the Board of Governors, honored guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. When a university confers a doctorate degree, it seeks to ensure that the recipient is well-deserving and has truly earned that degree. The reputation and the honor of the institution are at stake. But when a university such as ours bestows the honorary doctorate degree, we look at a double criterion. We seek honorees who are worthy of our greatest accolade, while at the same time we select those whose deeds, whose achievements, and whose status in the community of mankind bring us honor. Each of the candidates for the honorary degree is such a person. To paraphrase an old saying, an honor well granted is an honor almost as great to those who confer it as to those who receive it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben-Gurion University is proud and honored to receive into its ranks the new doctors honoris causa, Ambassador Mohammed Abdel Aziz Bassiouni, Professor Daniel Cohn, Mr. Ariel Ilya, Professor Jacob Katz, Mr. Harold Oshry, Mr. Michael Sonnenfeldt, Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz, and Mr. Marty Weiler. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Finger. We are now to move towards the conferring of degrees. The Senate and the Executive Committee of Ben-Gurion University of the Negev hereby resolve to honor Michael W. Sonnenfeldt in recognition of his outstanding record of achievement in the world of real estate and development and his rare combination of business acumen and public spirit, in appreciation of his integrity and wise counsel, given with the enthusiasm, zest, and clear-sightedness which mark all his activities, and in grateful acknowledgement of his boundless generosity, his unstinting devotion and service to the American Jewish community, and his dedicated efforts on behalf of Ben-Gurion University of the Negev and the State of Israel, by conferring upon him the degree of Doctor Philosophiae Honoris Causa with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Dr. Avishai Braverman, President, Chaim Kreitman, Chairman of the Board of Governors, Professor Nahum Finger, Rector, May 15, 1995. Will the Rector confer the hood? And will the President present the scroll? Dr. Sonnenfeldt, we would be delighted to hear from you on this occasion.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman Emeritus, Mr. Rector, Mr. President, distinguished members of the Presidium, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I've been struggling for some weeks to put this great honor you have bestowed on me into some perspective. It was difficult getting past what I imagined my son might think about this. A little older, he might ask me, he's sitting right here, Daddy, you finished your first degree at MIT in 3 years, your second in first. Why did it take you 15 at BGU for your third? When we were coming down yesterday, my father had a different perspective, and how proud I am that he's with me tonight as well. He remembers that the first degree he paid for completely. The second degree, we had a little disagreement, but he sure is happy that the third is one that Katya and I paid for. Some of my friends thought I should discuss such topics as the outsider's view of the inside of the university, or the role in the Middle East of this university. But today, while visiting Sde Boker just a few hours ago, I wanted to give you a quick picture of what we saw. First, we saw the Wadi of Zin, where the Jews returned from Egypt so many years ago. The Nabatean ruins later showed us how 5,000 years ago people were able to survive in the desert, and how our scientists here at Ben-Gurion could learn that and transfer that technology to people on the edge of existence as they claw back from hunger around the world. We saw high-tech greenhouses that present the potential to grow high-value crops in the desert profitably. Greenhouses which use very little water, but somehow are able to grow plants 4 times faster than normal. And finally, in that same one visit, we saw the National Solar Energy Test Center, a new part of the Blaustein Institute, which is run by one of the world's leading team of solar and environmental scientists. I might add that this solar test center is unique in the world and places BGU at the very center of one of the 21st century's critical technologies. In thinking about this confluence of spiritual, technological, historical, and potential factors, I thought about what an amazing thing that here in this small state, how many coincidences really are more than they appear to be. How is it that this small state, research, can be undertaken that has the potential to affect so much of the world? Of course, in trying to explore this with you, I could have also cited work at our medical school, our engineering department, our extraordinary program in writing that you're all going to see on Wednesday. And as you know, we could have talked about applied research and department after department. The list literally goes on and on. But as my friend Don, who is with me today, asked about the greenhouse we saw, but could easily have asked about Ben-Gurion in general, what is so different about this place that creates so much potential that would be so hard to duplicate anywhere else? Ladies and gentlemen, the answer is such an easy question is what I've spent the last 15 years studying. The first thing I can report is that it is not a simple answer because there are so many factors involved, and I would just like to name a few. Vision. At the core of this university stands the potential to fulfill a unique vision of an institution which is capable of building the southern half of Israel while having and providing world-class leadership in certain chosen fields. Excellence in some of those chosen fields will build bridges to Israel's neighboring states to promote peace and prosperity in the region. Much as our programs with Egypt, Mr. Ambassador, have been doing for many years, and I'm sure are developing now with Jordan as well. Other bridges are being built to the growing number of countries which have arid zone inhabitants, which represent 15% of the world. And many others link us to the rest of the world simply because of the extraordinary talents of the world-class academics that we are building here. In the end, a university's achievements today are a reflection of the vision of the previous generation of our leaders. The likelihood that we will fulfill our potential in the next century is a direct reflection of the degree to which we are all able to manage that challenge today and present a coherent, ambitious, and achievable vision. I could mention drive. You all know how important it is. But I'd like to dwell on perspective. Without it, we won't know what is achievable and what is not. This university's future is not only dependent on good energy, but we need to be able to prioritize our activities. We need to know which fields have long-term potential and which are fads. For sure, we will never have the resources to follow all of our dreams. But unless we are brutally honest with ourselves about what is achievable and what is needed, free from all of the intrigue, we will have missed one opportunity or another to maximize our ability to change the world in the ways that I believe we all dream of. Intelligence. No institution of great stature can suffer mediocrity without eventually losing its edge. and no institution can ever achieve any premier status for any duration if it does not commit itself to seeking out the most capable people and keeping them, a challenge that faces us all. Integrity. Ultimately, the foundation of an institution rests on the integrity at all levels of its leaders. Integrity means admitting mistakes, not distorting the truth, and fulfilling the contract that each institution has with all of its constituents. And compassion. I don't believe nice guys finish last. And no matter how tough the world is, institutions that lose touch with the human dynamic, with students and professors and supporters' personal aspirations, and even their needs, will eventually lose their way. Institutions like Ben-Gurion, which stay in touch, can tap untold reservoirs of goodwill and energy that miracles are made of. We all know about dedication, but I'd like to end with love. Strange to mention such a personal term in such a context, but friends, I have witnessed more love between the members of this community than any other communal setting to my knowledge. Most everyone here has been touched at one time or another by this institution and the extraordinary people associated with it in a deeply personal way. Some of us have had the good fortune to make the deepest friendships. Others have honored loved ones through their work or kept the memory of loved ones alive in their work. Why? Because I suspect that most of us need to imbue meaning in our work and actions that are connected to the greater whole. I know for me, each time I've contributed in some small way here at Ben-Gurion, it has been with the thought either of my children and the future they will inherit, or in reflection of someone who was close to me, or who I could love, honor, or respect. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing changes in our history unimaginable just a few years ago when I first came here. I've had the greatest honor to work with all 5 presidents of this institution. There are many people who I sorely miss just at this time, but none more than Joe Toccoa. He was an inspiration to most of the people in this room. But I am particularly honored to be in the presence of our first president, Moshe Prius, and my good friend Chaim Lalata, with whom I worked so closely for so many years, and particularly Avi Braverman, who has brought so much energy and success to this university. At the end of the day, you will notice that in my recipe for success, I did not talk much about facilities, perhaps a rather strange diversion considering our setting. Perhaps strange, but I believe we all should understand that these gifts of infrastructure can do little but radiate and reflect the qualities that I have described, which I believe are the real building blocks of a great institution. So as I conclude, I would like to say that I am proud to be among the Ben-Gurion family and confident that the weight of the responsibilities placed upon us sits firmly on the strong shoulders of an extremely dedicated and talented group, and I am most proud to be part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the warmth and for the love with which you have filled this auditorium this evening. May I ask you all to rise, and shall we sing together Hatikvah?